तो
जय श्री राम मोहन भाई।
यस सर।
ग्रेट, फैंटास्टिक।
आपके कमिटमेंट को मानना पड़ता है, दुनिया से चलते चलते भी आप यू आर अटेंडिंग इट।
मैं अभी बस थोड़ी देर में पहुंच जाऊंगा, हाफ एन आवर में। तो उसके बाद मैं स्विच ऑफ करूंगा, मतलब आई विल साइन आउट। बट तब तक ये मैं हूँ यहाँ पे। ग्रेट, वेरी प्रोफेशनल अटायर मोहन भाई, वेरी प्रोफेशनल अटायर, वेरी
जी।
एक इंसान कितनी बार दिल जीतेगा मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है। थोड़ा सा बंद करो।
राइट, देखते हैं आज कितने ज्वाइन करते हैं। 3 मिनट बचे हैं।
हाँ, बट विल स्टार्ट शार्पली एट 6 o'clock.
या 6 वी स्टार्ट बिल्कुल।
Should I keep my camera on or should I keep my camera off?
जैसा भी कंफर्टेबल है सर, ऑफ भी रख सकते हैं। वैसे रिकॉर्डिंग हो रहा है क्योंकि इसका।
आपको क्या लगता है, अगर कैमरा ऑन बेटर लगेगा या कैमरा ऑफ लगेगा?
ऑन ऑन बेटर लगेगा, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं
है ना? ठीक है, आई विल कीप द कैमरा ऑन।
बिल्कुल।
इसमें आप एक और चीज कर सकते हो मोहन भाई
जी
कि वहाँ पे एक ऑप्शन रहती है होस्ट, और
हाँ
वहाँ पे है ना जो कोई बार बार अप्रूव करना पड़ता है ना,
जी
तो लॉक वेटिंग रूम ऑन और ऑफ रहता है। तो उसको अगर हम लोग ऑफ कर दिए ना तो एवरीवन कैन ज्वाइन विदाउट अप्रूवल।
ओके
तो वो आपको
ओके
डिस्टर्बेंस नहीं रहेगा।
राइट। मैं वो देख लेता हूँ एक बार।
तो होस्ट में आता है शायद वेटिंग रूम ऑन और ऑफ लॉक।
जी
वेटिंग रूम, नॉट वेटिंग, वेटिंग रूम के लिए।
ठीक है ना, मैं एक बार वो चेक कर लेता हूँ।
इसमें एडवांटेज रहेगा कि इट विल नॉट डिस्टर्ब योर फ्लो, और you
Right.
can give couple of people hosting rights so that they can also add others.
जी जी, मैं वही ढूंढने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि कहाँ पे है।
होस्ट नीचे ऑप्शन बताते जाओ, आई विल लेट यू नो कौन सा ऑप्शन है।
होस्ट टूल्स एक है,
हाँ,
लॉक
होस्ट पे
वेटिंग
क्लिक
रूम
करो।
लिखा है, एनेबल वेटिंग रूम हटा देता हूँ।
हाँ, तो वो इनेबल वेटिंग रूम को ऑफ कर दो।
ओके ओके ओके।
परफेक्ट।
और अपना
नाउ
यूट्यूब पे भी
एवरीवन
चला
कैन
गया, अभी
जॉइन
लाइव हो
विदाउट
गया है।
अप्रूवल। हाँ,
यूट्यूब पे भी लाइव हो गया है।
क्या यूट्यूब में लाइव हो चुका है क्या?
हाँ जी हाँ जी।
ठीक है, आई विल कीप माय सेल्फ
अपना
साइलेंट।
J4E वाले इस पे हो गया है।
अच्छा, J4E वाली में हो गया। वंडरफुल।
Hello, Alacha. Very good afternoon. Good evening, in fact. Thank you for joining in. We'll just start now. Hey, welcome all of you to the Wednesday Growth Room. Thank you for being here. Uh, Today, what we are going to learn is what are the three most important things that what entrepreneurs want. Okay, what startup founders uh, lack. Now, this is the output of the brainstorming that we in J4E had recently last Sunday, and where our founder, Mr. Vishal Methi, who's there on the call now, also mentioned that it is very important for startup entrepreneurs to actually make sure that you are sharpening your eggs time and again. It's very important to upgrade yourself, upskill yourself. And how to do that is something which we are trying to cover today. And what we are going to do throughout this 1.5 hours is that I'll be taking you through the three main important things that are required for an entrepreneur to stay ahead and adapt to the changes that are coming. So that is why the title came in, that you have to adapt to stay ahead. So what is that adaptation that is required today is what we are going to talk. To tell you more about who I am Mohan Nair. I am a corporate soft skill trainer. I have been into this industry for the last almost 20 years now. I have been, my niche has been into communication skills, and I walk the path when I say that you have to adapt to stay ahead. So I have recently completed my certification from IIT Patna on generative AI. The reason that I did that was because in today's world, when we talk about communication, uh, the fundas of communication which we're working till now are not applicable today, because those are all 20 years, 30 years, 70 years back concepts which were there for one-to-one interaction. Of course, those are very powerful. Those work. I absolutely agree to it. Having said that, there are changes which have happened, because like what we are doing today, I am used to giving training of one to many in a in-person setup, right? So slowly what changed after COVID is that we shifted to our home, to this rectangular box, and we are now talking through this rectangular box. So I am very good at when I was communicating in one-to-one person in person, I was very good at that. But when it comes to the digital space, that is where now the game has changed. And that is why what I did as a trainer, I adapted myself to include AI coming into my domain. And then I started collaborating with it. So I call myself an AI mindset trainer. I am a digital influence core founder, which is basically talking about effective digital communication. So that is all the gist of what I am. Okay. For today's program, I have a short, before I start getting into who's what and what is there, I would like to tell you the reason that we started this, took up this topic of sharpening our eggs. Because a few years ago, I met three startup founders within a span of, say, 1 month. All three were intelligent, they were hardworking, and all three were very ambitious. But their businesses were moving in completely different directions. The first founder was always busy. Calls, meeting, networking, constant activity. Let me give you a disclaimer. If you think that you are someone I am talking of, I am not. I am telling you a very generalized kind of thing, that I found a founder who was very busy. He was continuously busy with calls, networking, constant activity. He had productivity apps, he had dashboards, multiple subscription, AI tools, automation tools. But everything around him felt a little chaotic. His team was confused. His priorities changed daily. And despite of working 14 hours a day, he still felt behind. Now, why does that happen? He had the tools, but not the operational clarity. Then I met one more founder who was brilliant, exceptional product knowledge, very sharp thinking, very deep expertise. But he struggled to communicate the value. He lost the interest of the investors. His clients were confused what exactly that person is selling. And the team members really lacked the direction. He had the capability, but not the skill set. Right? Now, come to the third founder. Not the smartest in the room, not the most experienced, not the most funded, but calm under pressure, adaptive, and very intentional. He learned quickly, built systems slowly, communicated clearly, used AI intelligently, and reflected consistently. Over the time, his business began outperforming others. That is when I realized something very important. Most struggling entrepreneurs are not working less hard than high performers. The difference is rarely effort. It is the operating system behind that effort. And that is where I introduce to you the three most important things that you as a struggling entrepreneur or a struggling person would require to up your game, to adapt your game, and to stay ahead in this competitive world today. Now, what is that? Those three things are the tool sets, the skill sets, and the mindset. These are the three things which, out of my research, I have found that the high performers today have all these three in a balanced way. So now when I say the balanced way, what is a balanced way? Now imagine you have a three-legged stool. Now imagine these three-legged stools are the three main things that I talked to you about: the skill set, the tool set, and the mindset. Right? Now imagine you have the tool set, but the skill set and the mindset you don't have. What will happen when you are sitting on that stool? Obviously, you will tumble. Now imagine that you have the tool set, but you lack the you have the skill set, but you lack the other two, or you have two and you lack the mindset. What is going to happen here is any which ways you go with this, you will definitely tumble from that stool, right? So it is important for us to understand that how to maintain this three-legged stool stand firm on the ground by balancing the tool set, the mindset, and the skill set. Now, this concept is something which I have also brainstormed with my mentor and a friend. He's there today. Welcome, Jagdish, to the room. Thank you for joining, connecting, and supporting me to this journey. So me and Jagdish, we keep discussing a lot about these things, and these tool set and skill set things really came from that discussion where we discussed this, and we realized that these are the three most important things that we need, right? So let me take you through one by one of what exactly these tools are all about, right? So when I say first about tool set, so when I say about tool set, now in Indian context, in Indian startup entrepreneurs journey, in fact, we are honored to have Dr. Vikrant Bhujbal Rao also here. I think he just disconnected. He's a person who's been a business coach and a very inspirational personality. He did tell us about the journey of what he had through J4E. And with those journey, when I understood his journey also, I understood one thing, the hard truth, that most entrepreneurs are not, working less hard than the high performers. They're working hard, but they're working hard in the wrong direction. They're solving the wrong problems. They're not really solving the problems that are really they are capable to solve. And third, that they are missing one of the legs in the stool. That is, either they are, missing out the tool set, the skill set, or they are missing on the mindset part. So difference is not effort, it is the operating system. And I always talk about operating system. I always talk about governance. I talk about the execution that is required. Planning is important. Everything is important. In the last session, I was talking about that, why me and Vishalji decided on starting with this Wednesday room. The only reason was that there was a lot of planning happening, but then there was no execution happening. He pushed me. He said, Wednesday, let 2 people come, let 5 people come, let 500 people come. But we will ensure that we will stand here, do the program. The Wednesday growth room has started, and I'm so happy that we are in the second leg of that. And we are now 2 episodes, like 1 episode already successfully completed, many views that we have received on that. Now the second one is here to help entrepreneurs to sharpen their edge. The midweek is very important for everyone to, basically take a break and sharpen their eggs, so that the remaining week, they make sure that their energy, their effort is going in the right direction. So when I said right direction, so hard work applied in a wrong direction with wrong tools and wrong lens will still fail. So that is why it is very important to understand that, what is the tool set, what is these 3 things which are important, right? And all these 3, remember, should evolve together. It is, as I told you, it's the weight that is important to, do it. So now, what are the tool sets? Tool sets are basically the platforms, the apps, the systems, the infrastructure that supports. Today, in the Indian sector, most founders in India are operating under 3 simultaneous pressures. They have limited bandwidth, they have inconsistent systems, and they have unpredictable cash flow. So the right tool set is not about what sophisticated tools you are using. It is about the speed, the visibility, consistency, and the scalability with low overheads. So what mistakes generally founders do is they start collecting tools instead of building an execution architecture. So instead of, think of these as not the best apps. These are the operational layer tools that every entrepreneur should have, right? So tool sets are all about that. What about, of course, I'll be diving down deep into all of them one by one. What about skill set? These are the capabilities that you deploy, the communication, the leadership, the strategy, the decision making, the AI fluency, all that culminates into coming as skill set. So skill set is also non-negotiable. If you have the right tools, but you don't have the right skill to apply it, there will be, a kind of failure which will happen, and you will find yourself rotating round and round in the tools that are there. So having the best tool set will not help. You need to have the skill set also. And today what we are doing is, again, the part of the skill set that you're enhancing your knowledge today here by contributing, by coming here, by listening to something which can make some difference in your life, in your business, right? The third part, which is one of, again, the most important part of any entrepreneurial journey, is the mindset. How you see, how you see at things, how you interpret the reality, how your beliefs about others, yourself, and your business, how they change the way you do your business. Being with J4E, I have met so many entrepreneurs, so many startup founders, so many inspirational people. And I have found that, the part that keeps all the other networking platforms away from what J4E does is the part where the interpretation of business is from collaboration. And that is so wonderful because that is the mindset that an entrepreneur should have. So today, what we'll be doing is one by one, we'll be getting into the frameworks, the understanding of what the tool sets are, what the skill sets are, and what the mindsets are, right? So I have basically divided them into certain layers. So let us first get into the part which is the operating system. Remember, it is not the execution system. It is the operating system of any entrepreneur's business, right? So let me take you through the 8 tool sets that are non-negotiable, which one should always have, right? So what is the first tool? The first tool that I talk about is about the thinking and the knowledge system. It's basically about thinking and planning. So what most, this is like the founder's second brain. Without this, your ideas generally would disappear, meetings will get forgotten, your execution becomes really reactive, right? So what most founders still operate from are WhatsApp chats, random memory, or some notebook they write down, right? But it is very important that you should have today, because with the advent of AI, it has become very easy now. There are apps like Notion, there are apps like Notes, there are Google Notes, there are many apps that are there available where you can, like there was earlier OneNote, when if somebody is using Microsoft Teams, you will have OneNote ka support with you. Now, what does these apps, these tools do is accumulate all that data that you have, your SOPs, your client notes, your content ideas, your business roadmaps, your meeting summaries, your discussions that you have had, the important things that you've learned. You can all put that into a system like Notion. I'm just giving you an example of Notion. There are multiple apps available in the market today. You can use any of the app, but then my intention of telling you is that the thinking and planning layer of the tool set is where you will have to accumulate all your ideas into one place, because it is impossible for the human brain to get into the multiple WhatsApp chats or turn pages and see back that okay, what was that was important. Now if you start storing it digitally, your thinking and planning brain, your second brain, is there. You can give it to any AI system and tell them that, boss, this is what I've accumulated. This is like the gold mine that I have of the discussions that I've had. And immediately it will start giving you that what you can do further to improve your business. So, of course, this tool set of maintaining everything in one place is something which is, again, non-negotiable, as I told you, right? It is absolutely important. Second is the communication system, the communication stack. Now, Indian startups lose credibility because of, through the chaotic communication that we have. Founders have found that we often mix, even I'm a founder, I also used to do all these things, and slowly I have understood the importance of putting the, the whole bifurcation of communication into different stacks, the communication stack, I call it. That often what happens is that we mix our personal chats, we mix our vendor communications, we mix our decisions, team decisions, client discussion, all inside WhatsApp. We do not have a stack which says that, okay, if I am having a team and I'm working with a team, I will be using either Microsoft Teams or Slack. If I have to schedule meetings, I will not, I will not put myself into just my Google Calendar, because there again I have to put in the manual entry of where it is going to happen, when it is going to happen. And with all the chaos that happens in the day, many a times we miss the meetings. I used to do that. I was a person who was suffering from this. I used to miss deadlines. I used to miss the meetings. So then I have started using something called Calendly. Again, I'm telling you, these are not tools that I'm trying to promote here. I am very clear that you can use various tools, but Calendly is one tool which, in case if you're meeting a person and you have decided, or you're talking to a person and you have decided that, okay, let us meet on so and so date, just send him a Calendly link. He will put in the details and it will automatically get updated to your, uh, to your calendar. Now, again, why am I telling you all this? Because tool set is one of the most important thing. We might have a lot of tools here, but if you don't utilize it properly, then we are just wasting our money on the subscriptions that we have. So it is very important that we have bifurcation in the communication system of various stacks that we can have. So keep your personal chat into your personal number, into a different WhatsApp web or WhatsApp thing, right? Keep your vendor communication into your WhatsApp business. Keep your team into apps like Microsoft Team, yeah, Slack. Your client's discussion, you take it up into the Calendly for the appointments, and then you make sure that all the discussions that you have are stored into one place like Notion Notes. And believe me, all this what I'm telling you is not difficult. You can, all the videos, I mean, there are 18 hours video, 12 hours video, 4 hours video, 2 hours video to teach you how to use these apps, and they are absolutely free. So you don't have to come to go to a person, technical person, and say, "Boss, मेरे को Notion सिखा दो, मेरे को ये सिखा दो." No, you just need to go on YouTube, just type Notion full course. You will automatically find 18 hours तक का I have seen the videos go on. So imagine how depth of knowledge that you get. And when do you do this? Whenever you have time. Say for example, like the Wednesday growth room you are all part of. You can decide on a time in the day, and you can update yourself, upgrade yourself, upskill yourself. It is the most important thing. The third, I've already covered the third one with you all regarding the intentional calendar, because using the calendar apps are one of the most important thing, because you as a founder, you are involved with thinking, you're involved with strategy, you're involved with decision making, you're involved with firefighting, you're involved with client communication, you're involved with attending meetings, you're involved with upskilling yourself. Now imagine all this happening in the day. How do you keep yourself composed? How do you know what is happening the next day, the next hour, the next week? That is going to come from having an intentional calendar that you're reviewing every time. How the entries are made in the calendar is something that you will have to decide whether you want to use Calendly or whether you're going to make a personal look. But this tool set, the third part, the intentional calendar, I'm saying intentional because it has to be intentional. It should not be that you're missing on dates, you're missing. I have met so many people. I mean, many of them are there here in the room today. Mahindran Subramanian is there. I've seen he's so particular about dates, time. If he has committed a time to someone, if he's not able to make it, he will make a call. He will tell me, let's reschedule it. I'm having some other engagement. He will follow up. Oh, are we meeting at so and so time? Why is he able to do it? Because he would definitely have an intentional calendar or a very good memory. But of course, I believe that those are people, because these are all successful people in the industry who have performed so well. Why? Because they have these disciplines with them. So Vikramji is here. Vikramji is again one of the entrepreneurs which I've seen. He's very particular about certain things. Jagdish is there. So many people who are there. Vishalji is there. So many people, they make sure that they have an intentional calendar. They know what is there ahead. the next hour from now. So like for me, I know that, okay, I have a Wednesday growth room today. Now at till 6:30, I know I'll keep a buffer of half an hour. And then from 7 o'clock, I have another meetings lined up already. If I know that, okay, some things here are going to go late, I just need to inform the person that, okay, we are missing it out. But imagine an entrepreneur works on trust. Now imagine you miss a meeting or a commitment that you have made. Imagine the kind of impression that you're going to carry with that person. I mean, if somebody does that with me, I feel very bad. I feel like, okay, my time is not important. Imagine, do you think that your clients, your team, your vendors, do you think they should have this feeling from you? I absolutely disagree to this. I always say that you should always have an intentional calendar. If you're missing out, in my early days in my professional life, my boss was so particular that if he says that he never used to tell me timings in absolute figures. He never used to tell me I'll come around 4. He used to tell me 4, 5, I will reach you. So he was like 4 minutes, 5 seconds, I will be there with you. And you won't believe that 4 o'clock, 5 minutes, he will be standing in front of me. If there is any change, he will make sure 3 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours before to inform me. I'm not able to make it to the meeting. Let us reschedule it. Let us keep the timing as that. So that's the discipline that every entrepreneur should have. And in fact, when we had the Sunday meeting, we did discuss about these things, that what the entrepreneurs really lack, because there was a lot of good brainstorming that happened. And I also thought that, yes, this is something that we as entrepreneurs should always know, that what is the system that we are lacking. So this is the operating layer. We have not come to the execution layer. The execution layer is the skill set. We are at the operating layer. We are trying to understand that at the operating level, what are the mistakes that we make. In fact, I have also made these mistakes. So that is why I could resonate with it so well. That yes, this is something that we need to together, make a system, an operating system, which helps us to achieve that. Right. The fourth one is the CRM. That is the customer relationship management. Now, people who have leads, clients, okay, you should. I mean, everybody has leads and clients, because we are after business by meeting someone, by talking on phone with someone, right? So one of the mentors I've had an opportunity to talk on phone and take some guidance. He told me that you should have your action book ready. So today there are AI apps available for that, and that action book should have every detail. So it is basically a CRM that we are talking of having in your phone, in your laptop, in your desktop, if you are using that. It should be there in every device that is there, and it should be all interconnected. So your thinking and planning should be with the communication stack, should be attached with your calendar, should be attached to your CRM. So now you see the flow which is coming in, that all these are interconnected. If you're using this in isolation or silos, you will not be successful in communicating properly or operating properly in this system today. So it is important that we make sure that we also have a CRM. You should invest into a good CRM. There are many entrepreneurs which we have in our group as J4E also. You can get in touch with them. You can ask them about a CRM, and then start implementing those CRM with the people, with yourself, so that you have all the client information, leads, everything at one place. So you have that peace of mind that, okay, I know A, B, C, D, E. Now, if you're operating at a level where you don't require too many clients, I'm sure that nobody wants that. So this doesn't work for you. But if you are someone who wants to grow 10x, who has a target of revenue coming in, say, I will say monthly recurring revenue coming in for, say, 25 lakhs, 30 lakhs. If you are aiming for that kind of a income, then these operating systems are going to help you a lot. Having these early in your stage will help you to manage the chaos that comes with so many clients at the later stage. So operating system, we are at number 4, which is called CRM. Let me take you to the remaining ones. This is where I struggled a lot. During my early years, when I was starting as a founder for my company, I have, in fact, I've done multiple businesses from 2013 to 2018. During those times, the only reason of my not getting successful in those businesses was this one only important point which I was missing at that time. It is very important that you have a complete clarity of visibility of your financial system. So what happens is that many startups have seen that they have revenue, but they don't have the visibility. The founders, they are burning their margins. They run cash aways. They don't know about their customer acquisition cost, how much to spend on marketing, how much to spend on a specific person. With that, what happens is that if you don't know what your customer acquisition cost is, if you don't know what your margins are, you will often burn a lot of money. I'm sure that you will relate to this, that many of us have burned a lot of money over social media ads, over marketing activities that we do, over subscriptions that we take. We have burned a lot of money without realizing that without financial visibility, without we have a line of sight of where I am headed, what is going to come. If it doesn't come, what is my backup plan? Me and my friend Jagdish, we often discuss about financial stability and those kind of things. We've always struggled on that part, and I've seen Jagdish very clear about his financial visibility. He's seen that he knows that मेरे account में कितने पैसे हैं, कहाँ से कितने आने हैं, what is going to happen. Of course, he's a Rajasthani, but along with that, he's also very particular about his the visibility that he wants to have about his finance. And I've learned a lot from him on financial visibility, that okay, you should know how much money you have in your purse. Bill Gates used to say that I might have billions and billions in the account. I know everything, and I also know how much money I have in my purse. In one of the interviews, he just took out and he said I would be having around $100.25, and it was exactly the amount that was there in his pocket. Just imagine, if you all maintain a purse, tell me right now how much, except zero, how much you have in your pocket. You should note till the penny. Kitne paise, kitne rupe. If you know that, you have this financial visibility. Without financial visibility, startups will end up into some kind of a hurdle where you will find that it is not, you're taking a lot of hard work, but that hard work is not converting into the result. So very important that you should have your financial visibility absolutely clear. The sixth one, again, very important. We've again, me, Vishalji, we've learned it the hard way. The reason that we are doing so much of visibility work right now is out of this thought that consistent visibility in the market. I give you a very small example. If you go to the market, vegetable market में आप जाइए, आप fruit market में जाइए, and which is the shop which will attract you the most? If you can use the chat room, it would be great if to have some interaction here. If you go to a if you go to a marketplace, vegetable place or a fruit place, what is the thing that will attract you the most? Let me just see my chat. Okay. Jagdish says clean space around. Okay, good. What else? I would tell you. I feel that if I go to a marketplace and the person who has kept the maximum things on display very beautifully, that is the place I get attracted. If it is a fruit vegetable shop, I see many fruit vendors there, but you will see that every morning they take effort to put all those fruits 1 hour the hour, create a pyramid beautifully. These watermelon people, abhi aajkal watermelon ka time chalu hai. Watermelon people will cut it into some shape and keep it at display. Why are they doing it? Because they want visibility. Now, this is a very small example, as I told you. But in our businesses, how can we show visibility? Is by being present at every social media platform, your WhatsApp status, your messages to the people, your broadcast list, all this should be ready with you. Because without that, your visibility, believe me, today इतना content आ रहा है market में, इतना सारा चल रहा है content. Me and Mahendran sir were discussing on this a few days back. There is so much of influx coming in of information today that if you are not visible for a day also, you are forgotten. You're not there in the world then. So you have to do it consistently. Every day you have to show up at some or the other way to your clients, to your vendors, to your people. They should know what you're doing. If you don't do that, automatically you will get obsolete. And entrepreneurs who are obsolete, people don't trust them. So very important that you should keep maintaining the visibility which is there. And also the presence. Like we have in J4E something called Chai Pe Charcha. Now we make sure that we go there, we network with people. It is not important that we go and we just exchange visiting cards and we just say, Arey Baba, good, this is my business. What is your business? No, you go there to be present. You go there to be visible. So attend meetings, attend workshops, attend trainings, attend various networking events that are happening in your city. Start doing that. Start showing the visibility. There are people who also get into posting continuously. They make sure that they are posting a lot of things online. Why is that important? Me, Jagdish, a lot of time we discuss that we are inconsistent in posting our things. What is that takes us back from there? That is this operating system, as I told you. You should have the right tools, the right infrastructure, the right kind of tool that will help you create things faster. So I'll be coming on to one of the very important tool set that is important today. I will tell you how I use it every day and how that tool set has helped me to reduce my manual work and the day-to-day work, and give me a lot of time to do the strategic thinking. To give me, and that is the reason I could actually in 3 years could create a very strong foundation for my digital influence code. Of course, as I told you, I'm not here to discuss on my business, so I will not be telling you about that. But then let me tell you that because I had these tools with me, I could do it faster, I could do it better, right? So content and presence, very important. Having said that, this is what I was talking of. This is one assistant that I have employed with me. I can say almost free of cost. Now, can you imagine that this background that you see today is created in flat 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, I'll say 1 minute. All the posters that you have seen of this program have been created by my AI assistant. It knows who I am. It knows how I think. It speaks the language I speak. It learns from my conversation. And it creates absolutely stunning things absolutely fast. But during my trainings, we have to give, we teach people that you have to give +1, right? So I say +1 as in, agar aapko kisi ne, if they've asked you for some help, so you do that help. Along with that, you give them some +1. What will happen there? That +1 adds into your credibility. That +1 adds to your visibility. Now, this +1 concept ke andar, I was facing difficulty in, creating the training modules, creating the PPT, creating the +1 that I want to give them. What happened after this AI assistant, the powerful AI assistant came into my tool set, and I started utilizing it to the depth. See, so I don't have just the tool set. I am using it to the fullest. आज जो एंटरप्रेन्योर ये बोल रहा है कि AI नॉलेज से आप ये सब बातें करोगे, I will tell you that the speed at which today the world is running, the information, the data that is coming into this world, the speed at which it is coming in. If you do not have an AI assistant with you, and if you do not know how to give it your thought and language, if you do not make it your second companion, you will be obsolete too soon. Sorry to give you this very blunt, but it is the hard fact. I have seen people, entrepreneurs, leaders who have not listened to this advice, and they are out of the industry today. They are searching for jobs. They are trying to upskill now, jabki ab bahut late ho gaya. Because every day, I was the other day talking to Mahendran sir, we discussed, I said, you sleep today with one AI tool. Tomorrow morning when you come, that AI tool is obsolete. There is new one, better one. Let me tell you one thing on the AI assistant. Now there are tools which are self-adaptive, self-learning. So पहले हम AI को data देना पड़ता था. That is used to train the AI. Every AI model is trained. So you have to give them millions and millions of data. फिर वो data में से वो अपना ABCDE कर लेता था. Same like Google, but a more sophisticated version of it. But now what it is doing is now it doesn't need your data to learn. It is going to adapt itself the way you want, the way you discuss things with it, the way you tell it to go and search for something. It will go and search for 10 different things, learn what it learned from the data, and adapt his own knowledge. Now imagine this kind of an AI is already there in the market. Where the day before yesterday, I was reading an article. In fact, I've downloaded that AI now. I'm trying to work with it to see what is this new thing coming in. This is like a disruption in the AI industry. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, all are now up in the race, coming up again saying, boss, humko bhi chahiye, hum bhi karenge isme. Now imagine every night the things are changing. So having an AI assistant will help you to think faster, because it's a very good brainstormer as far as information is concerned. It hallucinates, but then you should know how to prompt the AI so that you get the proper result. People like Mahendran sir who are into media, they also agree. He also agrees that the video generation, the image generation, the kind of tools that are now available at the cost that are available, the things that were taking say 4 hours, 5 hours to finish is now done in minutes. So very important tool set. Now, again, let me reiterate. If you're looking at the screen, you will find that I am giving you a complete operating system. Now, all this 8, the 8th one is yet to come, but all this 8 together makes you a powerful, high-performing entrepreneur. This is what is important. That is that you can't miss. If you miss, there might be more. See, I'm not saying that what I'm telling you कि इससे अलावा तो और कुछ है ही नहीं. There might be more, but there can't be less than this. And believe me, you don't have to burn money in just investing in the tools. You should know how to use this tool in a collaborative way. So you have a CRM, you have a calendar attached to it, you have your communication system very clearly defined that okay, mere teams wale jo hai, they will be talking on Slack. My Notion will coordinate with that. I know that okay, my accounting software will be there. Rahul Gaikwad ji either hai, he can help us in the accounting software parts, the HRMS part. So many things that he can help you. I mean, there are so many. हमारे पास इतने नगीने हैं J4E के अंदर कि हम हमारे कम्युनिटी के अंदर ही बहुत सारी चीजें कर सकते हैं. So it is important that we make sure that we have all these coming together. If you are doing all this and you are not showing up and you are not visible, you're not creating content, it's all failed. If you are doing all this with the help of non-AI tools, believe me, it's more difficult. बहुत difficult. It takes hours and hours to create a simple PPT. I used to take at least 2 to 3 hours. पहले उसको सोचो, story board बनाओ, फिर उसको get into the PowerPoint, then think of the design, then think of the transition, then think of everything. Now I do it in minutes. मेरे को एक अगर vendor का call आया और बोला कि फलाने कंपनी में there is a requirement, I immediately go to my AI assistant. I type ये फलाना कंपनी, ये फलाना ये इंटेंशन, ये enter training module ready. वो मैसेज भेज के 3 मिनट में I send them the training module. I go on a client call. I make a research on the client. I find out what the client is all about. What are the pain areas? What is the hierarchy? I go on LinkedIn. I first go and follow their company, follow the top notches who are there. उनके सारे bosses को मैं request भेज देता हूँ connection का on LinkedIn. Then I go to my AI assistant, research ki what are the type of questions, why do they want this training program. So whenever I do a client call, my failure ratio in client calls have been, I mean, it has been 1% or 2%. I have hardly lost any client call. I mean, after my training module went in, and if I'm going on a client call for understanding what the training program is and they understanding who I am, I have never failed in those things. Why? Because I prepare with my AI assistant that who's the client, what is he, what are their pain areas, and when I resonate with them, they find it absolutely stunning. I did a program for procurement, which I am not from. I mean, that too, procurement of a very big multinational brand, a luxury brand. I did a program AI in procurement with them. I don't know anything about procurement. I had a client call. I understood what their pain area is. I discussed with my AI. I created the whole module. In fact, हमने AI based simulation बनाया. No cost, zero cost to me. How could I do that? Just because I have a very smart AI assistant and I use it. So don't think that people don't appreciate the knowledge that you give from AI. Today, every message that you're seeing across the board is all through AI. Only thing is, it should resonate with you. It should not sound like an AI. If your AI starts sounding like you have done that job. As I told you, if you see the background that you have, all this is what I'm right now talking. अगर मैं ये सब लिखता और मैं कुछ नहीं बोलता, कुछ और बोलता, तो I would have said that I have failed in this tool set, which is the AI assistant, right? The eighth and the most important part, in the goal setting for growth session, I had mentioned about a single thing that mid-week, it is important to review where your goals are. Similarly, you should have a system of auditing yourself weekly, once every 2 days, so that you are headed towards the right direction. So all these tool sets का जो main crux है, वो इसके reflection वाले part. That audit, you have to audit yourself. That what, because now you have all the tool set, आपने सारा information एक जगह पे डाल दिया. Now it becomes easier for you to actually reflect on that what is the pattern which is very common that I am observing every day हो रहा है मेरे साथ. You can start working on that. What is the kind of demand that is coming into the market every day now? you can start forward thinking with that. That okay, people are asking me this kind of question. अब ये सब आप अगर दिमाग पे रखोगे तो दिमाग पे इतने लोड से कुछ नहीं होगा. हमारे बड़े बुजुर्ग बोल के गए हैं, उसके कारण हमने लिखना चालू किया था. लोग बोलते थे, हमारे बड़े बुजुर्ग बोलते थे that you should not memorize things or remember things. You should write it down. अब वो जमाना आ गया है कि राइटिंग अगर आप चालू करेंगे तो you will have so many of notebooks that you'll have to carry. And what happens with that is, it is not a bad practice. What happens with that is, that information remains in that notebook when the new notebook comes in. And you hardly go back to reviewing it, that what have I learned in the last 1 year. If you start putting this all information into your AI system or Notion notes, या notes पे अगर आपने डालना चालू कर दिया, which has got an AI attached to it, you will find that it becomes very easy for you to reflect on what I am doing. So I have changed a lot in my reflection, because I used to go one day at a time. I mean, मेरा ऐसा था कि चलो आज देखते हैं क्या करना. But slowly, when I started maintaining things, when I saw many people who write down what notes are, when I had a meeting with Mahindran sir, Jagdish, Vishal ji, Vandana ji, so many people when I've met, I've seen that they make sure that they write it down. Now, writing it down is good. As I told you, do not stress, give stress to your brain. It can't hold this much of information. It is not trained for that, right? So it is important that you put it into this thing. So now you have understood. Now you have seen the 8 non-negotiable tool sets that are there, right? Let me take you. I'll be, of course, as I told you, I'll be sharing these PPTs in the group also. And you have my connect. You can just get in touch with me. I will help you in getting the PPT. It will be uploaded into my website also. So you can use that. So I've just used this image to clearly, give you a layer thinking. So what are the layers here? Think, communicate, track, create, execute, and reflect. It's so simple to understand. Think, communicate, track, create, execute, and reflect. 8 tools का जो set है, उसको I have created into a small model or framework which you can use immediately, right? So having said that, let me take you. So again, we've discussed this. I'm just skipping this part because it's almost 7 o'clock now. So I want to be on time. Last time goal setting, I had said I do a lot of reflection work. So I know how many slides I have. I know how much time each slide I should give. If I overshoot a time at any of the slide, I know that where I have to cover up. So that is why I'm telling you that this already I've discussed in my this thing. What is the struggling entrepreneur doing and what are high performers doing? The part of the high performers comes from various books that we read. When I say we have a group called PPP, Peak Productivity Partners. Jagdish and Snehal, we are all part of it. And we make sure that we meet and discuss a lot of things. We are extensive readers. We read a lot of books. And out of that books, some very bestseller books have given the profile of the high performers. So this is what the performance, high performing, what high performers do is what is mentioned here, right? So let me take you ahead. The second part. I'm sure you all have understood the first part of the skill, the tool set, how important that tool set is. The second part is the skill set. Now, skill set is not about your personality. It is not about, it is about skills that are learnable. Again, let me tell you, skills that are learnable. So, ये अपने पास रहना बहुत जरूरी है, because if you have the right tool set and you do not have the right skill set, you will not be able to run the business in a balanced proportion. Right? So let me take you to the journey of skills. Now, 8 negotiable skills. I'm sorry, there was some error with the the part of animation. So we will go one by one, but you know what I'm going to talk about right now. It's there on the screen. So communication that moves fast, that moves. So we as entrepreneurs, we always have so much of communication happening every day. We are literally like salespeople. I mean, if you disagree that you're not a salesperson, so आप अपनी दिन को जरा रिफ्लेक्ट बैक करके देखिए कि आपने कितनी बार अपने आप को बेचा है, right? So this is what we are going to talk about, the non-negotiables that are there available for, is important that we have these skill sets with us, right? So you having a communication that moves people is like a master skill. So we as founders, we are constantly, pitching, selling, hiring, negotiating, storytelling, networking. The founder who communicates clearly is the one who creates that momentum. So what are the subsets that you need in your communication? So you should know what storytelling is. Recently, I met a very dynamic personality, Survi Vyas. She's the founder of a cosmetic brand called Selena. Now, while talking to her, her major area was this. She wanted to learn the art of storytelling. Persuasive speaking, she was good at, but then she wanted to learn the art of storytelling. So as a skill, and these are again, as I told you, learnable. So you should have storytelling, you should have persuasive speaking, you should know how to what are the principles of persuasion, right? And you should know how the business writing has changed now. You should know to listen clearly. Your listening skills are one of the most important skill that I say to any entrepreneur that you should have. Of course, clarity under pressure, that you should be having that clarity, because every day we keep having so much of pressure coming in from left, right. Some plan failed, some product did not work, some client did not convert. So much of this thing is there. So having that clarity under pressure is very important. And one more thing which I am trying to promote from long time, last 2 years post COVID, is about the skill of digital communication also. So you should make sure that you have the art of communicating digitally effectively also being learned. These are all learnable skills, right? How do you learn it? I told you. Your AI assistant is there to help you. YouTube channels are there. There are so many learning sites that are there. You can just take a subscription of one of LinkedIn Learning is there. Udemy is there. So many courses are there which are self-paced learning tools. You can use them, but you should develop these skills. Right? It is important that you keep sharpening your axe in between. If it comes to communication, storytelling, persuasive speaking, business writing, listening, digital communication is something that you should be doing, right? Because many times what happens is we end up over explaining, we talk without structure, and we simply are not able to create value. So it's important that if you're talking to an investor, if you're talking to a client, if you're talking to a vendor, it is important that you have that clarity with you, the communication clarity. The second part, which is very important, is selling without pushing. We have Jagdish, who's a sales trainer. I've learned a lot of this selling without pushing from him. As an entrepreneur, you should know that you don't buy things for the product that the person has. You buy the person. You buy the trust that you have in that person. You buy because you know the credibility of the person that is selling. So you should, as a founder, should be not selling a product. You should be selling yourself. So tomorrow, if you have any other product coming in, you don't have that much trouble to get into the market and sell that too, because you know the art of selling without pushing. So what do you sell? You sell basically the shift that has happened is now people don't want to listen about your product. This we have discussed with a lot of J4E meetings, Chai Pe Charchas, that coming to a networking meeting and giving a card to someone and telling them about your business is not going to generate business in today's time. I've seen many entrepreneurs fail because of this attitude, because of this skill set missing. Today, it has become more consulting. Today, it has become more conversational. Today, it has become credibility driven. Whether I want to buy this product, whether I want to get this training done by Mohan Nair, it is not that I have various products like digital communication, AI mindset, emotional intelligence. It doesn't matter. Tomorrow, if I create anything else, it will be has to come into a consultative and my credibility base. So I try to sell only based on my credibility. So whenever I'm talking to someone, I'm not talking to someone just to sell my product or just to sell myself. I'm going there to create a conversation. When conversations happen, automatically business will follow. So it's very important that we use this skill in negotiation. How to frame proper questions, asking better questions, trust building, very important. You should be doing all this, right? Third is the digital presence. How you show up on screen is again a skill, is not again a trait. How you show up on the screen is very important. Do you keep your cameras on? I'm not wanting all of you to keep your cameras on right now, but if in a business meeting, if in a client call, if in a very important discussion that you are having with your team, you should ensure that your camera is on, number one, and you're in the digital space, right? When you are portraying yourself outside, what are the content that you're putting in to the digital presence space is also very important. I was doing a business, I'm involved with business consultancy, and I was consulting a person related to an educational institution. While discussing with them, he's a young entrepreneur. So he had an Instagram account and he had all those previous his Instagram reels and thoughts that he has. But now when he's getting into the business, it is very important for him to create a digital presence which doesn't reflect his personal self. It reflects what he is, what is the credibility that person has. So we created another Instagram account for him. Slowly, he observed that he's getting more value from the new account created, where he's posting certain things which are showcasing his thought processes, and he's getting a good response out of that. Now he's not getting the response, so he stopped his personal account now, and he's full time here. So that means he's not mixing his personal life with the professional life anymore. So how you are presenting yourself in the digital world is very important. I keep telling in corporate trainings to my campus to corporate recruits that when you come to the organization, always your WhatsApp, because most of them use WhatsApp, Gmail account and all of that should look professional, because digitally how you present yourself is something which will tell people about who you are. So digital presence, very important. Fourth, I just mentioned right now that one skill that you need is the emotional intelligence. Why is emotional intelligence important? Because in an entrepreneur's life, in a day of an entrepreneur, there are so many people that you meet. There are so many emotions that come into the discussion. There are so many incidences that happen in the day that if you're not emotionally intelligent, you will not be able to get back up again after a very emotional episode. It is very important that a failure that comes in a day should not put you down, should in fact raise you up with an understanding that, okay, mera kuch learning ho gaya. Emotional intelligence is a very big topic. I won't like to, give you, I will just tell you that it has 4 or 5 domains in it. One of them talks about self triggers, that is, what triggers you, how do you react to those triggers. If you know self-aware, if you're aware of that, you are emotionally intelligent. Second part comes is self-regulation. You know what reaction you do after a trigger happens, and you know how to manage it. I don't say control it. Control means kahin na kahin wo jaake phat jayega. No control, manage. If you know how to manage it, that is called self-regulation. These same two things, if you can apply to the other person, that is the social person. So social awareness, that are you aware that what are the things that trigger people? If you know, then you can regulate that. If you know that a person is uncomfortable talking about family, if you know that a person is uncomfortable talking about any specific religion, if you know that a person is uncomfortable or something triggers him on a specific point. So if you know this and if you do not go into that area, you will have a very healthy relation with that person. So this is in crux called the emotional intelligence. I conduct 4 days, 3 days training programs on emotional intelligence. So it's very difficult to squeeze it into 1.5 hours. But again, as I told you, go to YouTube, go to these sites, learning sites, learn about emotional intelligence, learn about how emotional intelligence can help. Go to ChatGPT, ask him, what do you know about emotional intelligence? फिर उसको डालो, ये self awareness कैसे create करना? It will tell you. It will give you a test also. कि अब भी आपका self awareness कितना है? उसके बाद try to implement those things into your life. You will see that you are an emotionally intelligent person. This is scalable. This is trainable. The skills can be learned. So if you are a short-tempered person, if you get angry very fast, if you get low very fast, you have to get into the emotional intelligence part, right? The fifth important thing is the strategic thinking, because what I've seen most of the time, what I've seen is, founders spend entire day reacting, firefighting, and responding. They don't have time for strategic thinking. Now, what does strategic thinking, include per se? So, a few things it has. Like, strategic thinking also comes from prioritization. That do you have a priority throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month? Do you have a clarity of the prioritization that you have? If you are not getting time to prioritize things, you are not getting time to strategically think about your business. Second very important thing that I think under strategic thinking, which I keep looking at every day morning when I open the newspaper, every day morning when I open my mail to read certain newsletters that I have got into, when I read that news, I try to find opportunities into that. So why have I been able to be ahead of the time when people, even right now, trainers do not know where the industry is headed? I am thinking on angles like metaverse. Why am I be able to do that? Because I get that much time to do that strategic thinking, and I analyze opportunities that lie ahead. People say we don't talk about politics. I say you should talk about politics. You should not talk about politics from the point of view of who's good and who's bad. You should talk about politics from the point of view of that what opportunity it creates for you. How does a specific party coming into the ruling helps you in growing your business? Whether it is going to affect your business in the future, whether they have that kind of a mindset. If you are a strategic thinker, you will need this skill to be developed. You need that leveraging thinking. You need how to, position yourself, how to market position yourself. You should know how you can allocate your resources properly. So being busy is not strategic. As I told you, why am I using a lot of AI tools in my life? Because I get a lot of time to do strategic thinking. And when I do strategic thinking, the output that is coming from that is multifold. Because then I am not into the firefighting mode. I'm not, I'm not reacting to things. I respond to things. I have time to think on all those things. So we are working hard. A lot of us are working hard, but hard in the wrong direction. If you're growing, I've seen high performers, very calm, composed, they enjoy their life. The other day we were discussing during the meeting, Vishalji also said that you should have time to, speak with your family. You should have time to go out with your family, go out with your friends, attend some casual meetings. Very important for you, right? So all that is very important for us to understand this. So we've covered strategic thinking. The sixth part comes as people and team management. Most important part in an entrepreneur's journey, that you should understand that the leadership skills have now changed. You are no longer a leader for the information that you have. Information abhi ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini did it. You don't need a leader for that. You need an emotional, intelligent leader who has empathy, who understands that what is going on. It is not always about business. It is also about uplifting the team along with what you are. It is about not doing the things yourself perfectly. It is about letting the people do things imperfectly, giving them that opportunity. So this skill is very important for any entrepreneur in today's world. Seventh, learning agility. इसके बारे में I have been talking to across the generation, from generation Alpha who are in school to Gen Zs who are in the working mode now, to the Gen X who are into leadership middle management positions, sorry, to the millennials who are in the middle level management, to the Gen X who are into the senior level management. Everyone I have been telling that today learning agility is one skill that every entrepreneur or working professional should have. It has gone so fast, as I told you, to keep pace with it is getting difficult. If some people will disagree to this, but I read books now through my notebook LM. I put a book, digital copy to my notebook LM. I tell it to tell me the synopsis, the crux of the book, whatever I like out of it. I tell it to give me that chapter. I go through that chapter. I read the book very randomly. So I don't read the book like index and 1, 2, 3, chapter 1, 2, 3, 4. I read it, index. Okay, what topic did I like? Chapter number 8. I will read chapter number 8, chapter number 2, chapter number 6, chapter number 14. I go like that. Why? Because I need to, I will not have time to read the complete book now. I will take 4 days, 5 days. I complete 2 books in a day today. So learning agility. What is the intention of me learning or reading? It is not entertainment. It is for my upgradation of the knowledge of what exactly is happening in the market. So that intention is getting cleared automatically with us, right? Learning agility. And again, the skill of collaborating with AI, not consuming AI. Don't consume AI. You have to collaborate with AI. There are so many things that you can do with AI today कि आपके आधे से ज़्यादा चीजें will be taken care of. I have recently installed the Meta AI in my WhatsApp business. It starts responding to the messages immediately that came in. Of course, right now I'm trying to train it, so it is doing some mistake. As I told you, as a leader, AI is also your employee, so you have to give him the opportunity to commit some mistakes, right? So very important part, right? So collaborative literacy, very important. So again, I've just scaled down that what helps, right? You can take a screenshot of this if you want. Skill layer जो है वो communication, sales, strategic thinking, all this we have already discussed. And how is the output? Communication creates influence, sales create revenue, strategic thinking creates direction, emotional intelligence stability, AI collaboration leverage, decision making creates speed, digital presence creates visibility, learning agility creates adaptability, team leadership creates scale, and execution discipline creates results. Right? Very simple. Let me take you to the third part. Again, the very important part. We have had the tool set, we have had the skill set. Now we should also have the mindset. Now, what is the mindset? What are struggling entrepreneurs doing and what they should be doing? So, struggling entrepreneurs are hustlers. They have every day they are doing firefighting. Every day they are chasing clients after clients after clients and not getting business. Or if they are getting business, they are not getting business in the format that they are expecting. So they're not earning a lot of margin there. They have to give away with the margin. Why is that happening? Because they are hustling every day. What is the mindset that you should have as a high performer? Very important that you should now start thinking from a hustler, that is a struggler point of view, to an architect point of view. So when I got this shift in me, I was selling training programs before. I now sell frameworks. Difference है. Training program कोई भी PPT उठा के कोई भी जाके conduct कर सकता है. But an architect, as an architect, I now do not have training programs. I have saleable intellectual property with me with frameworks. I have books in my name. Why could I do that? Because I have had this shift. I've stopped being an hustler and using things that the other people are using. I've started creating things. That is going to help you, right? Comfort seeker? बहुत मेहनत कर ली, अब मेरे को तो थोड़ा comfort चाहिए. The other day when we were having discussion on Sunday, we were discussing about this, and I said in that meeting also, I would like to reiterate it here also, that it is important that you should always, you should not have the pity mindset. I call it a pity mindset. I always pity myself. मेरे साथ इतना मैं इतनी मेहनत करता हूँ, मेरे साथ ही ऐसा क्यों होता है? All this language is a pity language. You should, in fact, be the designer of discomfort. You should be starting to follow things which keeps you into discomfort. If you do not like a specific thing, like for example, if you if you have difficulty in sitting for this session like this for 1.5 hours, 2 hours, you should in fact start doing it. Because when you start challenging yourself, your brain starts to accept it. It knows that you are not a struggler, that you are someone who will design a discomfort because I want to get discomfortable. I don't want to be comfortable. शाहरुख खान का एक बहुत फेमस डायलॉग है, उसको बोलते हैं कि आपको ये हीरो बन के प्राइवेसी हट गई तो आपको बुरा लगा क्या? He says, भाई मैंने किया ही, मैं हीरो बना ही ताकि मेरे को प्राइवेसी ना मिले, और जब अभी मिल रही हो तो मैं डिस्कम्फर्ट क्यों हो? मेरे को वो डिस्कम्फर्ट चाहिए, उसी के लिए मैं बना हीरो, सुपरस्टार क्यों बना? Simple, right? Scarcity in collaboration. J4E, we've been seeing this, that there are people who are just, we are all there. We are all there. We are telling about our business. But how many of us are collaborating? How many of us are actually seeking to give business to the other person that we are meeting every day or whenever we are meeting? That is the collaboration that the high performers always have. They have a lot of collaboration. So they get business from A, B, C, D, E. Not because you are good in business, because they know that you help them in their business too. So whenever there is a collaboration, you will find then you'll start getting business. After a certain amount of time, you'll start getting the business also. So collaboration, very important. Thank you, Jagdish, for that. Struggling entrepreneurs, we keep having this validation-seeking attitude. We need validation for everything. ये चीज चलेगी क्या? ये चीज होगी क्या? ये चीज आएगी क्या? ये ऐसा करूंगा तो ऐसा होगा क्या? Am I doing right? Am I doing this thing properly? You should stop having validations now. You should not have validations. You should start creating value for people. Technician sales training always says that it is not about what you are selling. It is about how valuable it is for the other person. Only then that other person is going to buy it. If he doesn't see a value in what the other person is selling, it won't sell. So if you're losing clients, remember that you're just validating that what you are, who you are, and what you can do, stuff. But if you want to actually improve your sale, it is important that you should start creating value. Many entrepreneurs have fixed identity. I do this. I am like this. But you should have a fluid role. Sometimes you can get into a designer mode. Sometimes you can get into a back-end mode. Have a fluid role in your life. Very important for an entrepreneur to remove that fixed attitude that you have to a more fluid attitude that you can do everything, right? Again, very simple. If you are emotionally intelligent, if you have all the tool sets, if you have all the skill sets, you need to have the failure extraction attitude. I always say this to my sons, to my mentees who are there. I always say this, that when you fail, you need to ask what next rather than why me. Remember this, it's very important quote. Whenever you fail, don't ask why me. Don't cry about it. Happened. हो गया, fail हो गया. Learn from it and jump to the part where you can say, what next? Okay, हो गया, what next? You fail again, what next? You fail again. See, you will never have failure in your life. You will always have learning in your life. So it is very important that you do this. Urgency addiction to importance discipline. Again, when you have the right tool set, you will not be firefighting. You will always have a discipline of what is important and what is not. The other day when we were discussing, so Dinesh was there in the meeting and we were discussing the same thing. And we said that the ability to say no is one of the biggest quality that Dinesh has. And that is why he's able to spend a lot of time for strategic planning, thinking, and a lot of things. Because he knows the importance of time and he knows when I say no to a specific. You're struggling, you might be getting a client, but then that client is asking you to do something which is going to go beyond your, beyond your reach. It is going to take you a lot of time. You should know how to say no to that client too, because you should know that how important or how not important that thing is, right? And the last, as I told you, we've already covered that. Instead of becoming a consumer of AI, you should become a collaborator of it, right? Bringing you back, now you can see why these three things are important to sit as a high performer on that tool. Without any one of them, you will have. Now, आप सोच रहे हैं क्या कि in this 1.5 hour, what we have done is I've given you a complete execution mechanics from the operating system to the execution system to the mindset system. Everything is there with you right now. If you go back, look at this recording again, try to incorporate this into your business. You will see that you will be growing faster with a more relaxed, calm composure in the future, right? So I always say tool set shows the world what you use. skill set shows the world what you can do, and your mindset determines the world what actually receive from you. A very simple question, not many people in the room, but ask yourself where, which is the thing that you are lacking now. I would like to ask Mahendran sir, if you're there, Rahul and Jagdish, if you can tell me which is the shortest leg that you think of all this, or you think you're on the balance mode. Any one of you can just unmute yourself and answer here.
Sir, can you repeat the question, please?
Which leg is the shortest according to you right now for you?
Okay, it's difficult though, but I still believe skills are to be worked. So this looks like shortest.
Right. So the 8 skill sets that we talked about. So you think that those skill sets, because you might be having all the tool sets, but there would be lacking on the skill set part of utilizing those tool sets to the optimum use.
Right, sir.
Great, great. Mahendran sir, if you are there, if I can have you unmute, and or Rahul Gaikwad is also there. In case if you can, we have just another minute or so to go. So if you can, if you're there, if you're comfortable, it's okay, or else it's absolutely fine. I give you at the end a very simple task that you can do this week. Pick one tool that you have underused. Either commit to using it fully this week or cancel it. Second task for skill set. Identify one skill that you keep saying, that's not for me. It's not me. Like if I know Jagdish a little bit, so I think Jagdish will say AI. So take one concrete step to take it forward. This is a challenge that I'm trying to give. And the mindset part, write one sentence about why it bothered you. I mean, the shift that made you most uncomfortable. You saw that chart, right? So the shift which made you the most uncomfortable, that write a one sentence why it bothered you. That discomfort is where you will be working this week for. If it is from being a hustler to, I can in fact just show you the slide once. Any of this, if it makes you uncomfortable, pick one and put it into your task list that you have to do it this week. You have to kill that this week, right? So 7:30 is the time. I am a stickler for time. I have completed the whole module. I've given you the challenge. Jagdish, if I can just have a small, takeaway from you, that what was your takeaway? I'll just stop sharing my screen once. Just a minute. Yes, Jagdish.
First of all, thank you so much, sir, bringing this is to attention. What I felt that we feel we know so much, but more we know, more we have realizing that how little we know. And there's so much to do. At the same time, this is give a structured approach. The best learning for me out of this session is to, like, as an entrepreneur, we have 10 things to do, and that they're always in mind. Now, having said that, dividing them into a structured tools and mindset and skill set, I'm able to see, oh my God, this is mindset. So this is just to bring here, nothing to outside. So what is in my control, what is not, at the same time, what I can delegate, what I can do, what can I hire or collaborate. So this is giving me ease, feeling of ease. Okay, कर लूंगा, हो जाएगा. I mean, looks like कि मैं इसको approach फिर से करूंगा, तो for sure it will make my life easy. So it is more of realization than I'll tell you than information. And at the same time, it's high time. It's complete high time when we accept that yes, things are changing, technology changing, tools are changing at the same time, and I need to be a student all the time. student of AI or mindset for that regional learning. In order to be a teacher, I think first job is never stop learning. Thank you so much for wonderful session. I really appreciate your energy and enthusiasm for this. Thank you.
Wendell sir, if you're there, if I can just have a few words from you, means a lot.
Well, it was a wonderful session and a lot of learning. Because as an entrepreneur, we do a lot of things. We try to do many things more than what we're supposed to do. But this session of yours has given a clarity how to use tools, how to use AI, and how to keep yourself updated to the changing environment. And rightly said by Jagdish, it's ever learning. You have to keep learning and upgrading yourself. And adaptability is a big thing in today's times because things are changing fast in terms of technology, whether it is AI or any other tools for that matter. Change is very fast, so it's very important for us to adapt and learn from others and collaborate and move ahead.
Right.
It's not difficult, but then you need to adopt. That's when then things start moving in the right direction. Thank you so much, Mohan.
Thank you.
It was a wonderful session. I enjoyed it right from the start. I've been sitting and listening. It was awesome.
You have been a support since the session 1. So thank you very much for that.
It's a learning. It's a learning for me.
Rahul, if you're there, if you can just unmute yourself. I'm going overboard on the time, but let me just, if Rahul is there. Rahul, if you can unmute yourself, if you're there. Yes, Jagdish, you can go ahead.
Yes, I'm there. Yes. So
Yeah.
I was going through this complete presentation also. You know, feedback by Mahendranji and Jagdish. So it's very relevant, feedback they share for your, the presentation or guidance, rather I will say guidance. So those are very apt to the entrepreneurs, may it be startups or may it be, the entrepreneurs who are in the growing phase. So I will say definitely for each stage or the entrepreneur who is transferring to the next orbit, these are very much guiding principles, I will say. The most, the tool or say guidance which you gave today, for me, I will say the, making a framework, which you have said, which you are also applying. So definitely that is definitely guiding me, and we'll definitely work on this, how to move on to the next stage, because I'm as I said, as in this new year, I'm trying to move to the next orbit. So definitely, if I'm going through the previous ways or previous path, definitely that will create issues for me. So if I'm going to create a new ways or say frameworks, then definitely whatever the targets I have planned for myself and company, those will get achieved. So I will keep it in mind. Definitely, this will be the most take away session for me in this regards. And I think 1% if I am able to utilize.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you've taken that one part of the value creation part, and then you've taken that shift of hustler to architect. And I'm so happy that you've thought that, okay, I'm selling products, but then am I selling frameworks? Am I selling my creativity? Am I doing some product which is going to help me? It's a wonderful thing, Rahulji, and I'm sure that with this mindset, with the right tool set and the skill set, you'll be able to do it. And your commitment is already seen that you are in the car, but then you are still learning today.
No, I'm not driving right now, so no issues. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Jagdish, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, thanks.
The last comment, which when Mahendra sir said something, is reminded me the beauty of learning. I am feeling great that there'll be always less number in the room when we talk about learning. You say when there's a more means to communicate, the less of the communication. Same time, there are more ways, more tools to learn. We are learning lesser. I'm glad that we are in learning room. And by just being in this room, I feel glad that we are at least ahead of 90% people on this space. So I'm feeling grateful that yes, we are there we are already there in top 10%. Those talk about learning and they're there to learn. So beauty is that.
In fact, this, as I told you in the start only, that this tool set, skill set, mindset is actually the brainchild of Jagdish also. So thank you, Jagdish, for that. I mean, we could actually bring it to a live session on that thought that we had discussed on, the tool set, skill set, and mindset. So
Wonderful.
patent copyright still remains with you.
I said there's nothing copyright on this world, everything is we're learning here and there, and the best of us.
Thank you. Thank you very much for spending this time, and we will definitely catch up soon. And of course, next Wednesday is another module, another day, another topic. So thank you all very much, and thank you for attending this. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Thanks to you also,
Bye.
sir.
You all take care.
Bye.
Pardon?
Yeah, I said thank you also. It's very a good session, and definitely, as I said, even 1% of it is taken, definitely it is going to be a game changer.
Of course.
Yes. Okay, bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.